If a person traveled to another part of the world, assuming there are no phones or translators, and the person had no prior knowledge of the language they speak there, communication will have to stop, or rather still, become very difficult, as we humans have adapted to using words for communication. But that's not the case for dogs. Dogs are very intelligent animals. Stick to the end to see which breed is the smartest, and spoiler alert, it's not the border collie anymore. Anyway, dogs would be able to communicate with no hindrance at all, and this is because they primarily use smell and body language as communication. And if you think about it, using smell is really smart because you don't even have to be present to communicate. One can urinate on a pole and convey something to the rest of the neighborhood. Isn't that cool? So this means that a dog bred and raised all its life in Asia can be taken to America and still understand messages that are being passed across. But the dog has probably learned during the many thousands of years it has lived with us humans through adaptation that smell is a bad way to communicate with us. So with us, the dog uses a lot of body language, such as wagging or wagging its tail between its legs. And in addition to that, the dog has added sounds to communicate. This includes whining, growling, barking, and beeping. In addition, they can vary in frequency, repetition, pitch, and volume. And this is to make varying effects such as the extent, intensity, or urgency of the messages being passed. So when you combine all these factors, communication can become quite nuanced, or in other words, more refined and more in-depth. If you only hear the sound or only see the body language, it can be challenging to understand what the dog means. But when you have the context, it becomes easier, and this is the mode of communication with which most dogs understand each other, and that we humans have become good at understanding them too. These are not sounds that each individual dog invents, but that all dogs more or less understand. But that applies to the whole spectrum, and not just barking. With that said, every dog will have different sounds and barking that only applies to the owner, which the dog has learned through its upbringing. So the conclusion is that dogs have many ways of communicating, and most dogs understand each other across breeds, and that their sounds are in many ways universal. Despite this, barking or any other sound in isolation is not enough for either humans or other dogs to understand. But when you add all the other factors, dogs really can understand each other pretty well. Now, considering the abilities of dogs to communicate or learn and grasp things, even though it depends more on how smart the owners are, many dog owners are concerned with how smart their dog is. But having said that, which breed is actually the world's smartest dog breed? Even though the border collie is mostly referred to as the smartest, it isn't anymore, as a recent study shows. Thanks to its background as a herding dog and reputation for being hardworking and its ability to learn easily, previous studies in several rounds have named the border collie as the world's smartest dog. But now, new winds are blowing over the running yard, shows a study carried out by researchers at the University of Helsinki. With more than 1,000 dogs divided into 13 breeds, the researchers have carried out the most comprehensive study of canine intelligence to date. The dogs were tested in 10 disciplines. 7 were of a cognitive nature, while 3 were about obeying and carrying out orders. According to Sara Juntila at the University of Helsinki, just like in almost every other species of animals and even humans, most races have their strengths and weaknesses. For example, Labradors are good at reading or understanding their owners and accepting instructions. However, the popular dog breed did not score high enough on the other tests on the scale to sneak in among the smartest. After the 10 tests, it became clear that third place went to the German breed Hofwart, which is a medium-sized dog that's been used as a watchdog and tracking dog, while second place went to the pre-favorite, the Border Collie. The Malinois, which fared best of all, is an active and nimble Belgian Shepherd dog that closely resembles the German Shepherd. It did best when it came to following instructions and solving tasks in difficult environments. The breed's often used as a guard dog, but also as a tracking dog by the police. So, the top 3 goes to number 1, the Malinois, number 2, the Border Collie, and number 3 goes to the Hofwart. So in conclusion, it's an established fact that dogs of different species and from different locations can communicate globally. Also, through adaptation, there's been a change in the ways dogs communicate, both with other dogs and with humans, and this has made their sending of messages more refined. Also, different species of dogs have different abilities or degrees of smartness, which generally depends on what, where, and how they're most adapted to function. If you liked this video, kindly like, subscribe, and share with friends. Thank you for watching, and thank you for staying curious.